I'm not in.
So. Yes, you said your domain was Love Center, LOVESINNER, CDC.org.
Love Center, Love Center CDC.org. Do you see it?
I'm sorry, was it Love Center CDC.org? Okay. I thought for some reason you said center. I was like, that's an interesting domain name.
One of the things, actually, just for anybody else that's listening, I'm actually on the GoDaddy inside the site builder right now. So some of the tools that come along with that's very helpful is it also syncs up with your social media. So you can create social posts and then actually use the content that's pre-created as well, and then slightly edit it. So you can create social posts and then post that to your website and your social media as well. So that's a valuable tool that GoDaddy kind of offers, which is kind of slick. In addition to that, they also have some SEO tools that walk you through. They make it really very simple in order for you to just update your website with search engine optimization. So that's something that you can usually pay a professional to do. It can cost, I think, anywhere from $45 an hour, and they generally need you to do that for some time. But that's something that you can do relatively easily if you just follow the walkthrough that GoDaddy offers you. So that's something that's very helpful.
Rebecca, you said you're having issues getting logged in. Was this logged into your GoDaddy account or into your Wix account?
Yeah, my login for my GoDaddy account. Okay. It's a different domain. It's lovecenterministries.org that I can't get into.
Okay, let me see if I can help you out here.
Another helpful thing about another thing that's kind of nice about the GoDaddy website builders, you can also schedule an email campaign. So if you have somebody opt in, I don't know if that's a feature that's available through Wix, but obviously if somebody's opting into your website, you want to do some type of follow-up or send them an email or maybe a couple of those, just depending on the nature of what you're trying to do for lead generation. So that's also something that's very valuable inside the GoDaddy site builder that they offer. And Jesse, hello, Jesse. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself really quickly, but Jesse's a business partner of ours that we work with on.
Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Just here to help any way that I can. I know the lead gen and marketing strategies is what we were talking about. I know we're jumping into a little of the GoDaddy stuff. That's more of Jason and Jeremy's domain there. Rebecca, I also use Wix for one of my sites, but the rest of my websites are all hosted on GoDaddy now too. So the problem I'm running into is trying to transfer my Wix site that I built for my one business to GoDaddy. It just seems that I have to rebuild the site. So that was one of the things that I'm running into.
That was exactly kind of what we were just talking about with Rebecca. With Wix, it's a proprietary website, so it stays very. Unfortunately, if you want to migrate it from one, place and all, you'd have to rebuild it, and that could be obviously a lot of work, depending on how complicated your website is. But Rebecca, I don't know if you have access to your Mac email address.
Yeah, I'm there.
I just sent you a password reset for your account there.
Oh, cool.
Becca, this website is something that you, I'm not looking at your website right now, but is this a website that you use for real estate, or what exactly are you?
No, I use it for my church. The Love Center CDC is for our community development and our 501c3. And the ministries, Love Center Ministries, was for the ministry at the church. And it was originally, it was through GoDaddy originally, but then we had connected it to AT&T. I think the church had a website that, a domain that it was connected to. So, it was. On the GoDaddy, it was redirected to the AT&T.
So, what was the minute? You said it was loveministries.org?
Yeah, Love Center Ministries with an S.org. And it says caution under construction, but it's not under construction. It's dead.
Gotcha. Let me see about that one.
Too, just since that's what you're talking about, what's interesting is, I don't know if Wix offers this at all, but the GoDaddy website builder, when you purchase that, what's really cool is when you log into, and I'm just going to show this on my screen. If anybody actually wants to see it, you can go to getcrazyleads.com from your mobile phone or just desktop, and then look at what we're sharing. Is when you log in, it shows you how your business is performing online. So it gives you a score that allows you to see where you're ranking in comparison to other websites that are set up for similar type of things. And then in addition to that, it tells you how many page views you've had in the last 30 days or the last 7 days. You can also see where those page views are coming from. So you can see if people are hitting your website, if they're going to, oftentimes it's Instagram or something like that. A lot of people are just scrolling through Instagram that will click into, to your website. So that's something that's kind of helpful as well too.
You said getcrazy.com?
Getcrazyleads.com.
Leads. Okay.
Hey, Nona, how you doing? Yeah. So just for anybody listening, if you want to visually see what we're talking about on our screen as we talk about some of these systems and tools, you can just see that at getcrazyleads.com. So we're live streaming what we're sharing on the screen, so you could either listen to it through the audio app, but then also if we're talking about something visual, you can see it there. No, we're just talking a little bit about lead generation and marketing strategies. I know we're all in the real estate space. What have you been up to generate some of the leads, and is there anything that you're noticing that's working well for you?
Yeah. What's going on, brother? What's working well for me right now? Cold calling is working well. Texting as well. I know everybody's like, oh, texting is gonna leave and yada yada yada, which is very well true. But some of the things that I do, I just literally just say, hey, what's up? Or hey, how you doing? Through text. Just so that the carriers won't flag it. And then they're going to respond back, and they're probably going to be like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't save your number. Who is this again? Or hey, what's going on? The key to it is like you just want to get a response. But
exactly. Yeah, that's such a great point. That's something that I think of a lot because like ringless voicemail drops, for example. A lot of times, I'll share tools that have ringless voicemail drops that you can do. Sometimes real estate agents or investors will say, oh, that doesn't really work for me. And I'm like, well, what did you say in the voicemail? And they're like, oh, yeah, this is Jeremy. I'm an investor in San Diego. And it's like they're trying to sell. They're trying to basically get them to sell their house over voicemail. And I think the best thing to say is, hey, this is Jeremy. Give me a call back. And then you can actually get them on the phone. So it sounds like that's the same thing that you're doing with text, just a little bit just like straight to the point. Hey, let's jump on a phone call and not have to worry about explaining your life.
Yeah, most of the times with text messaging, the RVMs, I was pretty vague with the message. It was generally like, hey, this is Jesse, call me back. Just like you said, Jer. I seem to get a better response from that than trying to, sell on the call, because it just, a lot of people don't want to, are never going to return your call if you start talking about like buying their house and stuff like that.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Well,
No, go ahead, bro.
I was going to say, one of the things that Jesse and I have been just trying to do lately with to complement the text is also incorporate email and then direct mail with it. So we've been using a system that works. It's called Print Genie. and it's a multi-channel software that sends out campaigns by direct mail, text, and email. And then, so if we pull a list of, say, motivated sellers for, absentee homeowners, for example, we send out a pre-built campaign, and then we incorporate, the direct mail with that. So hopefully, when they're getting a text message that says, hey, give me a call, and they see they've got a postcard in their mailbox, a week or two later, along with an email and then another text, hopefully that we're going to see a higher response rate, which is.
Yeah, and I was gonna say another thing that is, at least for cold calling, one of the things that I say, I know that, or at least in my script, I notice that when I say, or my VA say, hey, this is Cheryl with CDW Housing, we're just a local home buyer, seeing if you're interested in selling a property 123 Main Street, right? It's a lot in that, and by the time they're done, they're halfway. They're already hung up. So I even say, hey, this is Cheryl. I was calling about your house, 123 Main Street, right? Because they don't know what it's about. They don't know what you're calling for. Is something wrong with it? What's going on? So now they're apt to listening and at least hearing what you're saying, and then you can get to that yes, no, maybe, or get the F off my phone, whatever it may be. But I think being short and sweet, and kind of a little vague, even in cold calling or the script, that's what has helped us out a lot, and got, I guess, past that accent barrier sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's one of the, being vague, is actually, I've noticed sometimes it's a little bit more helpful because they're intrigued by, they don't really know what you're necessarily calling about, so they're going to at least leave you on the hook a little bit longer until you figure it out. And one of the things I heard somebody say this in Clubhouse, I thought it was a great pro tip, was when they were cold calling somebody, they would basically start with saying, hey, I'm looking. They wouldn't be talking directly about the subject property, maybe that they got in touch with that homeowner. They'd say something like, hey, this is Jeremy. I'm actually interested in purchasing a house in this neighborhood. Can you tell me a little bit about what your experience is like living there? It seems like you've lived at your house for a little bit. Can you tell me more, what your thoughts are? And then that way, you're not necessarily saying, hey, I'm trying to buy your house cash, or even if it is a cold call and they're not interested, you might find that out very quickly, but then they can still share, oh, my cousin is interested in selling their house and lives in the same area, or, can open up. Jesse, what's your experience with
As far as cold calling went, I was pretty much doing the same thing, right? I was just trying to connect with people. I used to do more cold, so I started just a little background here. My main goal when I started was raising capital. So I was I was marketing directly to investors that were investing in deals, that were already lending on deals, or owned multiple properties. I had a few different cold call scripts, but I got away from the cold calling. After you dial 1,000 numbers and you get hung up on a bunch of times, it's and cursed out and whatever awful things they decide to tell you that day. I found that the cold texting was a little bit easier, so I went to I was using a texting system at the time, and I would just send a vague message. A little introduction, or I had a drip campaign that would go out over 24 months that was just text messages, and once they responded to me, then it would pull them out of the campaign. So that's what I was doing as far as that went. And then when we went into the properties, we started to use the multi-channel marketing campaigns with the direct mail, text, and email, and that seemed to be the best for us, because instead of us doing the outreach, they were really calling us. And one of the things we decided to do, since we had VAs at the time, was actually having the VAs cold call some of the people that we were mailing to see if we can get them on the phone after they had received one of the mailers. The multi-channel marketing system already sends a text and an email, but we were trying to just add another touch within those campaigns. So a bunch of different strategies. It depends on really what you're trying to do, but I think the more vague you are, the more people actually respond to it. That seemed to be my results. Whether that was just getting them on the phone for them to say, no, I'm not interested, then you can take them off your list and not have to worry about it. Or if they're, interested in selling or lending or whatever it was. So we had a lot of good conversations and built a pretty good client list over the past few years, just doing strategies like that.
Yeah, that's a good point that you brought up as well too. So, I was just thinking about if you, for example, if you're going to be door knocking, if you've sent them a piece of direct mail, then at least if you're door knocking or if you're calling them, it might still be a cold call. You might have talked to them before, but you can at least call them and say, hey, I've sent you a couple pieces of mail. Have you by chance seen any of those? And then basically, discuss that. So you have a reason for calling them, not just, hey, having to be so vague. So I don't know if that's something that's helped you out, but I can imagine if you were door knocking, talk to some people in the solar industry where, they seem to be, they do a lot of we call it driving for dollars in the investor world, but so it seems like the solar industry, they target specific neighborhoods and do a lot of door knocking, especially pre-pandemic. But I suggested to one of my buddies, I'm like, why wouldn't you send them a piece of mail beforehand and then go door knock them? And then at least when you're knocking on their door, you have a reason to reference something. And they did that, and they said that there was a lot more success. So I can imagine that could be similar for like what you're.
How effective is the PropStream's mailing feature?
It's actually. Yeah, so we use a software called PropStream, and actually, if you want, you can go to Get Crazy Leads, and then you can see my screen, so we can talk a little bit about that. You could get a free 7-day trial as well if you just click on the link, the bio link in the Instagram. There should be a link that takes you to sign up for a free 7-day trial. But what's really cool is the way we think of it is PropStream is more or less just a big data tool. So you got a lot of information in there, a lot of off-market information about what's maybe active in the MLS or what indicators you might be able to see for somebody who might be interested in selling their home. And there is pre-built marketing. There's some marketing tools that are inside of PropStream. So you can send a postcard, you can do a ringless voicemail drop, or do email marketing. However, the unfortunate part about that is it works great. PropStream is awesome. We love that tool. However, we have noticed we get a significantly higher response rate when we send a handwritten yellow letter or a letter that's in an envelope with a real stamp on it. So what we normally do is we pull a list using PropStream. We use the filters, and then we get a very highly targeted list. And then what we do is we actually take that list and we put it into Print Genie, which has tons of pre-built templates in it, and then that allows us to send out the mailers that are the print shop that we work. That Print Genie is we've developed that with. They send out envelopes with real stamps, handwritten letters. There's more brochures, things like that might also be nice to send to your sphere of influence around the holidays or something like that. So we've noticed that postcards are great. They're generally less expensive. So that's why I think a lot of people generally like to send out postcards, because the first thing they always ask is, how much are they, right? Well, we tend to go a little bit more premium with sending out the handwritten letters. And that's what we use Print Genie for. So they both in tandem.
Yeah, we find, so here's like a quick, there's one of the campaigns that we've built inside the Print Genie tool. It's our bread and butter kind of investor one. It consists of 2 postcards, 3 handwritten letters, and then a jumbo postcard. And they go out after, they're all triggered. So it's the postcard goes, and then a text and an emails go. And then another postcard goes, and then a text and an email. Then a yellow letter, then another letter handwritten, and then another letter, and and a text and an email is in between all of those. So by the time that you've actually, by the time the campaign's over after 6 months, it was 18 different touches. So it says a 6-touch campaign. It's 6 pieces of mail, 6 text messages, and 6 emails. So when you've hit somebody 18 times, they're likely going to get back to you. As we know, most people get back to, most people respond by the 7th touch. I think that's a industry average. Like I'm pretty sure that's a statistic that everyone talks about, right? 7 touches to finally get someone to respond. If you think about it that way, by month 2 or 3, they should be getting back to you. If they're not getting back to you, they may get back to you month 4, 5, and 6. And then, you know, the people that wind up not calling back, not saying no, or not responding at all, we drop them in another campaign. So we might pull a really super targeted list from PropStream and say that that list is like 150 properties that we really want, that we've really targeted down. You know, we've list stacked and we've narrowed it down to, you know, specific details, and then we'll send a campaign that's really specified towards those people, whatever situation that they're in. So we'll monitor the list with PropStream and make sure that, you know, nothing has hit the market, you know, it's not on the MLS yet, or it hasn't sold, private party, or whatever it is. And if it has, we immediately remove them from the marketing list within Print Genie. So there's a little bit of back and forth. There's it's not like there's a Zapier connection for that, but the list monitoring and the fact that you've really narrowed it down within PropStream allows you to be way more efficient with your money, with your marketing on Print Genie, rather than just sending a one-off postcard or a single email or a single ringless voicemail from PropStream. So we've kind of found the workaround of not having to send one-off mail. This is a full system that we've built out over the past couple of years that's actually doing the all-in-one marketing. So you're not consistently every month going to the print shop or every month sending, you know, handwritten letters. All of this it's done for you, and it's pre-built. And the campaigns, we have an 18-month follow-up campaign for realtors. You know, if you're following up with somebody for 18 months, you're going to consistently be, you know, in front of that person, and they're likely going to work with you. So as we continue to build these campaigns, we've put in the stuff that's worked for us, with thousands and thousands of dollars that we've built, that we spent building this tool. But at the end of the day, you know, you can do custom things, but, you know, let's hit the easy button and you know, use what works, and that's what we've already built within the Print Genie platform.
Where do you find Print Genie, your company? I don't see it in your bio.
So it's I believe it's the automated marketing link in our bio. Rebecca, you can send me a DM, and we can actually do a quick demo for you. Or if you're on the the getcrazyleads.com site, Jeremy can do like a quick.
I'm on that site.
You can go to printgeniepro.com, and then that'll also, that's basically the website that you can look at, that shows you, you know, a little bit more information. What's really great about Print Genie as well, so we basically use both together. The two tools that we're talking about, which is PropStream and Print Genie, do work really well with one another. So they complement each other. But, you know, if you were just to say wanting to send out marketing and get your phone to start ringing, Print Genie does also have data that's built into it as well. So unlike PropStream, where you can go in and you can get very detailed with the list that you would like to create, in Print Genie, it's more of a simplified solution where you just click into the dynamic data, and then you choose, you know, which type of motivated seller you'd like to market to, say pre-foreclosure, and then Print Genie will pull that data for you. They've already have pre-built filters that we work with Melissa Data on. So we have dynamic data in Print Genie. You can pull data from within it. So you can, if you don't have a marketing list, you can just create one with, you know, what the data that's inside Print Genie and skip trace to homeowners with it. But yeah, you can go to printgeniepro.com, and then that, you know, that's our website. So you can kind of see a little bit more about it, it's great because you can design your own direct mail. You can use from several templates that we've already created. So we're saving you a lot of work with the library that we've already got. We've got hundreds of mailers and dozens of campaigns that you can already just select from. But if you wanted to, you can also create your own copy and customize it, and make as many different types of campaigns as you'd like. So I don't know if you're familiar with Canva, but it's basically like Canva with marketing tools built inside of it as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, so basically Jesse and I were working with both PropStream and Print Genie a couple years back, and you know the great thing about PropStream is it's nationwide MLS data, right? So if you're not a licensed real estate agent, you don't have access to the MLS, and if you do, you might only have it in the state that you're licensed in, so you might not be able to get information about Arizona MLS info if you're not active there. So PropStream is great for that, but when you have all of that data, it's great to keep notes inside of it. There's tons of features inside PropStream that we love using as a real estate professional, but Print Genie is really a stupid simple solution for just getting marketing going out. And with what do you need to do? Also, with all that data, what do you want to do that you want to market to these people and send them, easily send them multi-touch, personalized, relevant content. So it's really cool to do. What's also great is there's a mobile app as well. So if we're out driving for dollars, or somebody I'm having a conversation with that's at a restaurant, and they're saying they're interested in selling their home, basically I can literally just plug them into my Print Genie as a contact, and then say interested in home buying campaign, and then that will just.
Do you have any data on what your success rate has been as far as response?
Yeah, with it depends on so depending on the type of campaign that we're talking specifically about real estate, from our experience with the real estate campaigns, with like a pre-foreclosure list, we are a little bit more aggressive with those types of leads because we know they're a little bit more motivated. So we'll send out marketing to a pre-foreclosure lead, say once every 2 weeks, because we know that they're facing some type of timeline that they have to, get mitigated with the bank. So the response rates for a pre-foreclosure, when it comes to direct mail, our response rates have been around 3% response rate, which generally leads to us having a seller appointment, and then we at least get an opportunity to put an offer in, or refer a real estate agent to work with them. So that's pretty good. That's actually a pretty good response rate for direct mail specifically. With complementing that with the text message and emails, the response has definitely gone up. But it does kind of depend on the motivation of the list that we market to. Say, for example, an absentee owner list. Those homeowners aren't necessarily as motivated. Sometimes they may be motivated in getting a number, or put the feelers out there for price. But the one seller appointment that we could go on easily pays for the campaign itself. And then what's great about direct mail is sometimes people put a piece of mail on their refrigerator, throw it in a junk drawer, and then they'll call you back 6 months later. So that's it's some people are surprised, but we've sent out direct mail for the last 8 years now, and sometimes those pieces of mail have been out for a very long time, and people just hold on to it.
Thank you.
Rebecca, another thing is, depending on the campaign, depending on the response rate. If you're marketing to somebody who's in a pre-foreclosure situation, and you've hit them 3 or 4 times, multiple touches, they're likely going to get back to you more than somebody who's just has like a high equity homeowner who's just holding on to that house for what they don't want to move or whatever it is, right? So it kind of depends on the campaign. We've sent campaign. Jay, I remember that one we did here in San Diego, where we had like a 15% response rate, which is pretty high. That's kind of an anomaly, but it was a really targeted list, right? So that's one of the major things is once you're targeting people specifically in these situations, you're going to get better response than if you're just blanketing. So instead of blanketing the entire county and wasting thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing, you're kind of like a sniper, right? You're going in there and you're picking the best properties in the best situation for you to capitalize on as an investor, and you can help that. If you have the capability to help that person, you should be the first one there, and they should be calling you based on your marketing. So that's how we kind of look at the situation. Rather than blanketing and wasting money, we like to specifically target, individuals that we've narrowed down their information within the software.
I purchased the PropStream, and I put in my zip code, and I got like a 1,300 responses. So I need to filter it better, I guess.
We can. Yeah. What's the zip code that you're working with, Rebecca?
95045.
And what type of investment strategies are you trying to take? Are you a real estate agent, or are you just looking to be?
I'm new at this, Jerome. I was going to do the tutorial because it has some tutorials attached before I hit you up, Jerome.
Yeah.
I didn't want to waste your time. But
that's a really good start. No. I mean, we know that PropStream is a very robust tool, so it's great to go through the tutorials at your own, leisure on your own timeline. It can take up to 45 minutes just to kind of go through all the features alone. So there's a lot going on there, and then of course the tool is always being updated. So we're looking at the zip code that you just said, 95045, which is in California. And yeah, if you're looking at my screen, or if you're looking at our website, one of the things that's great is going into, so you're seeing what populates for you when you put in a zip code into PropStream is all the records for any type of real estate populate on the right-hand side. So when you see the unique properties, you're saying you saw 1,813 is what I'm seeing. That's vacant land. That's condos, single-family residence. That's everything. And there's even commercial data in there. So what you can do is you can use the advanced filter sets. You can use the quick list that we've kind of had set up inside of there, but then you can also use the advanced filters to start, getting more narrow or more granular with who you might be interested in marketing to. So you could, say for example, you're only interested in working with single family residences. You don't want to do anything about commercial right now. Then you can just you can click on the property characteristics and then choose type. And then just when you select, I only want to look at single family residences in 95045, you'll see that the property count went from 1,800 to 762, right? So some of the lists that we call list stacking, some of the stuff that if you're looking at purchasing a distressed property, something that's generally good, a roof is a very big ticket item that is something that we can sometimes, if somebody has a really poor roof, or if the roof's at the end of its lifespan, they have a hard time selling that traditionally, right? So an end buyer might not actually be a good fit for buying that home because you might have an inspection done, or the bank mandates that you get an home inspection done. They say, hey, this roof is at the end of its life cycle. We're not going to approve you for this loan because the roof is broken. We need that roof to be in better shape. So if that has to sell cash, you could also say, hey, let's look at properties that are at least 25 years or older. And so you might want to say a single family residence that's built in 1993 or later, right? And then so that's I just dropped that date, year built into 95045, and I'm filtered it down to 239 properties. So I know that these properties have had, unless the homeowner has kept up on the maintenance on the roof, these are probably a good place to start looking at something off market that may have some motivation to sell.
Thank you. Okay.
So what's cool is there's thousands of different criteria you can play with inside PropStream. So you can basically identify how many opportunities that you might be interested in marketing to by just simply clicking around and stacking some criteria together, coming up with scenarios that you might know somebody's maybe in it, and they might want to sell, right? So, I was saying single family residence built 1993 or earlier. Another thing we always like to do, we're always looking to get these, generally we like to get properties off market. So what we'd say is, if it is on the MLS, we'd say no, we want it to be off the MLS, right? So it's not actively for sale. And then another great thing to kind of tie into that would be like an active lien on title, right? So we can do has an active lien, which is there's 10 properties in your zip code that are, they've built, they're single family residents that are not actively for sale, but they do have a lien on title. So that might be, if somebody's not paying their HOA fees, that might be something that you might see as an indicator where it's like, hey, they're struggling to pay their HOA. They might not be in pre-foreclosure. Maybe they want to, maybe that's somebody you want to reach out to see if they might be interested in downsizing or selling the house.
Thank you. Those are great.
Yeah. So the features inside PropStream, there's so many, but playing around with those advanced filter sets is awesome. It's so powerful, and that's where we're constantly looking at to start trying to identify where motivated sellers might be. Rebecca, have you done any campaigns or marketing at all?
No, not for this. I used to have a business in San Francisco a long time ago, and I bought an area for zip codes, and I had to do all the mailing myself. That was back in the day, probably before you guys were born. Yeah, you could buy a zip code area and then send out postcards to that area. They would give you the list of addresses in that particular zip code, but it's all hand done.
Yeah, I mean, even with just some of the stuff that we would do manually before having dynamic data, there was so much work that was involved with that, right? We would say if you get a list from the title rep, first of all, you have to trust that the title rep was doing a good job of giving you the list, but then, managing that, or if you send marketing to them, and then that, if they give the data in a CSV file, that's what we call static information. So that information is not being updated. So there was a lot of list management work that we did for years, and luckily, we got involved with companies like PropStream, and they have list management tools. They have dynamic data that's updated. So that's been a huge help for us, and that's just stuff that's been updated within the last couple of years and is constantly being updated. But the list when you start marketing, having a list management system, whether that's your own CRM that you've been using for years, like a Trello or Podio, is great. But then it's definitely necessary, because if you start sending out 4 or 5 campaigns, and these campaigns are set up on a schedule where they drip out, you want to keep track of that, so you're not wasting money sending the same campaign to somebody if they've already called you back. I was just going to reset the room here really quick. Welcome, Vishnu, Roddy, Katie, Abe. We're all just talking about lead generation and marketing strategies. I know we're all kind of in the real estate industry, so that's where our specialty lies. But yeah, is there anything anybody else has been doing to have lead generation secrets?
Hey guys, so I did want to jump in here and just say one of the things that Jesse and Jeremy have been working on is a digital card. So I don't know how to say this without being a little bit competitive. So I'm just gonna say it. But there's another gentleman out here that's selling they call it a 10K card. But here's the deal: our card is free, right? So you don't have to pay for our card, and it does a lot more. So if you want that card, Rodney, I just sent you the link for it. Yeah, you could hit up either Jesse or me or Jeremy, and we'll get you that card. And it's really, especially people, it's great for if you start linking up the Print Genie and anything that you do in your business. So it's not just for real estate professionals, but it works really great for realtors or wholesalers. So if you guys are interested in a free digital card where you don't have to pay, you should hit us up.
It's actually really cool too. It's like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Linktree, It's basically a smart digital business card and a link tree. And as Mitch said, it's absolutely free. So it's pretty convenient. It works really great. You can, if you wanted just to see what it looks like, you can go to any of our Instagram, the link in our Instagram, and then you can just click on it, and that pops up your digital business card. And then when you sign up, you can switch out the links that you want to showcase. You can take them to your website, or as you were saying, Rebecca, you might have more than one website you want to take them to. You can drop those links in there and kind of share, a little bit more info about who you.
That's interesting. You said that card is free?
Yeah, it's absolutely something we've been giving it. We're just giving it away for free. We were working with the developer, and essentially this was a product that we came up with, kind of just out of working on some tech stuff, and we actually have a physical smart. It looks like a credit card. It's actually a smart business card is what we were calling it, and you actually just tap the card to someone's phone, and it'll pull up your smart digital business card. And then the pandemic hit, and nobody was meeting up in person, so we kind of put that on the back burner just because nobody was physically meeting up or handing out business cards at the seminars or anything like that. But now that now that the vaccines have been rolling out, we decided to kind of pick it back up. But yeah, it's the BioLink. It's a smart business card, and it's
right. So, but let's just be really clear. So you don't there is with this card, you can have a physical card, or it can actually sit in a keychain, right? Or it can be on a piece of mail. So really, it's a lot of applications, but you actually also don't need the card, right? So just like a lot of digital cards, there's not a physical aspect to it. So, but you have that option. It's just one of the many benefits that we have that other people don't have. I'll try not to be competitive again, but I can't help it.
Plus, it's free. I mean, that's a big thing. I was paying for Linktree. I think Linktree was like $7 a month or $9 a month or something like that. I don't remember what the other guys' cards were, but like this is just a free product that we give away, and it's just as good as a Linktree. I think it's personally better.
Yeah,
but.
The 10K card. Can you hear me? Okay, I got the red dot at the bottom.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, the 10K card. If I'm not mistaken, I paid $99 to get it, and that's just to have the card. If you want to update it and be able to change it, then there's a monthly fee. I think it's like $10 a month where you can. I was like, well, I don't see me having to change it that many times to pay $10 a month. So, yeah.
I could take that $99 off your hands, Rodney. No problem.
Yeah, the card is awesome. I mean, I've shown a couple people at my office, and it really works for really any industry. But it just looks like you know what you're doing, because when you click when you click it to somebody's phone and it pulls up your contact card and all of your websites. I mean, it's just right there. They're gonna be like, damn, this person knows what they're doing. So it's beneficial for really any industry you're in. It looks great. It's a great conversation starter.
Where do you find the free one?
That's in our links, Rebecca. So you can click in our bio link again. I think it's
Will do.
I think it's towards the bottom on mine and probably towards the top on Jeremy. But it's my favorite price. Free $99 is my favorite price. So.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, it works out pretty great. And I know Rodney just left, or Rodney, I don't know if you're still in that spot, but what's cool is if you sign up for, you're always have the 10K card that you've already purchased, but you can go in the back end and then swap out your links anytime you'd like. So it's totally you can adjust it anytime you'd like without having. So yeah, there's a big vision there with what we'd like to do. Something that we were thinking would be cool is when you send out a piece of direct mail, you could tap it to your phone and that could pull up something like the video, or you talking about some services that you offer as a professional. That obviously is something that we're working on, but that's why that's using the data, kind of bridging the print to digital gap is kind of what we're trying to do to some degree with using the direct mail pieces and technology. We obviously like to try to hit people on multi channels, and then however they choose to communicate with us.
Hey, Jared, are you having issues with your mic?
So,
Can you guys hear me there?
Now we can. Yeah.
It does seem like it's been kind of like cutting out every once in a while.
he's also live streaming on the website, so it might be using a lot of his network.
Okay, so hey, we got some friends up here. Yeah, and Rodney, I'm getting the red bar as well, so I don't know if you guys can hear me. But AB, how are you, buddy? And I see my friend Katie here. How are you, AB?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, bud.
Not much. I was actually checking. I was checking out Jerome's Instagram to look at that card. That seems pretty interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, AB, like, because you wholesale, right? So, like, if you scroll toward the bottom of Jeremy, you got some pics on the bottom of your bio link, right? So, like, basically, you could put in for realtors. It's for anybody. Like, if you own a pizza joint, it's great if you add it with Print Genie, right? But like for you, AB, who's a wholesaler, right there when you're introducing people, like even on like so just
Yeah,
stick right to Clubhouse. Go ahead, Jess.
I was going to say, just go to my bio link and you'll see I have a couple properties under there, like a couple of my flips for sale, and you can see you can feature properties on there, and then it also links to your Instagram, so like that feeds through there too. So it's such a social it's such a social button. It's not just like a standard bio link, or I don't know what the 10K cards really is, to be honest. I haven't looked at it, but it's just there's so much more. There's so many more features that you can do, and for real estate related things, you can put all of your properties that you have for wholesaling right there, right in your link, and that's just more and more people clicking on your link, more and more people seeing the properties, and you'll likely sell those with more eyes on them.
Yeah, so let me just like narrow this in because I know a couple people on stage. So like AB, right? For you, it would be like if you're in Clubhouse, because everything is for now DM'd on Instagram, right? So that you can just if you're in these rooms and you're like, well, I have this property. Well, hit my bio link. There's the property, right? And so it just makes it great. Katie and I were in a room where we were talking about CIA documents, right? So now it just sits in her bio link, boom, right? And Katie does a lot of things, right? So real estate and all sorts of things. So it just makes it, for Clubhouse, it's amazing. For people of us that are actually on Clubhouse a lot, it's great. Rodney, right? Pictures of the cars, man. Pictures of and again, also a lot of us are hustlers, so we're in a lot of different businesses. But it like, take a look at it because it's just way more dynamic. And actually, while I was talking some shit with 10K, this product stands so good on itself. Guys, actually, I just think we could just stick to just talking about the benefits of the 10K card. Of the authorized card, right? Because it just really works well with Clubhouse. But I would tell you, when you couple it with, especially when you're doing multiple things, I'm using it. How about I put it like that? I'm using it myself, and anybody that knows me even the slightest knows that I only endorse things that I use.
That's a really
Plus
cool
it's
thing.
free.
That's a really cool thing I forgot to mention, that Rodney, you can also actually change that in the back end for yourself at your leisure as well. So yeah, if you're a real estate agent and say you're listing a property, or as Vishnu mentioned, if you're a wholesaler and you wanted to showcase your maybe some properties or something, you can just simply drop those in, and that populates on the bottom. So it's also a really good place to, as Vishnu was saying, market yourself. And that's some of the stuff we're talking about, the lead generation and strategies, is showing your professionalism, and then having new to.
Yeah, definitely. I actually see a lot of potential in this. I know you guys were talking about marketing earlier. and that's actually something I specialize in when it comes to marketing, at least digital marketing, and something they call AI marketing that a lot of people don't know about, just because the way Google's artificial intelligence bots crawl websites and all that in the future. But something I highly suggest to other people when it comes to marketing, a lot of people think that the pay-per-click, SEO, all this stuff will generate leads. They do. It is a costly way of getting them. I try to focus on a different type of marketing, which is typically just social media marketing and AI marketing, which is based off of photos that are uploaded to Google through our websites, but they have meta masks in the back and hashtags and all stuff that they're uploaded with, so that they have information of what that photo is and who it belongs to. Google will prioritize crawling that information over keywords that are uploaded in the back end of the websites. Right now, photos are like the main priority. I don't know if you guys knew, but for a while, Google Photos was free because they were trying to upload as much data into their systems so they could have image learning bots learning what certain images were, what a bike was, so the bots can start learning what photos are being uploaded. That way you can say, hey, Google, find me a photo of my bikes, and I'll pull them up for you. That's something that is still going on, and Google will prefer crawling that information for you guys' websites or anything like that, having photos with that information, because a lot of people will take photo and just upload it to their website without changing its name. It's uploaded with the number of the date when it was taken, but they don't take the time to add the information that Google prefers photos to have, for them to prioritize them on organic SEO and all this other stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of really good points. I'm sure Jason has a lot of insight to kind of share off that, but I do know what's like you were saying, Abe, what's really interesting also too is the Matterport, kind of the VR space that Google is incorporating. They do street views, and you can kind of walk around outside of properties, and you're looking at it from Google Maps. But now you can even Matterport a property from your iPhone and then upload that. So I know Matterport and Google have been working with one another, and that's just a really engaging way for the user experience when somebody's visiting your website, or if you're showing a property. What you could do is you go to your bio, you go to your smart business card. If you have some properties you're wholesaling or listing on there, you can easily click on it, and then that expands to a Matterport that you can actually physically walk through virtually from your phone. So that's pretty cool. And obviously with the pandemic, people are distancing themselves. So that's a really good way to showcase properties. And then whether they're fixed up or Jason, did you have anything to share about what Abe was talking about with how Google?
No, it's definitely makes an excellent point, because you're right. I mean, a lot of people don't index their websites or do the meta tags, but photos are huge. I mean, if you think about it, just with social media in general. Well, what's the most, like, when you go to social media? I mean, what's the thing you're doing, right? You're looking at either videos or pictures. So videos and pictures are huge, and then especially with indexing them the right way and with voice recognition. I mean, I don't necessarily use like Siri and Alexa a whole lot, but it's mainly just because I don't have one. But it's definitely becoming more popular. Like when people go into their houses, so voice recognition, people talking to their phone, like Siri, Alexa, Google, stuff like that. You want to make sure that you're indexing it the correct way, and that is putting the meta tags on it, and then kind of going back to even just like with the search engine optimization in general. I know that we've kind of talked about this. It's kind of off tangent, but with the new top level domains, like .com is by far the most popular top level domain, but like .club, like working at GoDaddy, like .club, there's so many people that are going to GoDaddy or any registrar for that matter to buy the .club for Clubhouse. But when you look at what top level domains that are available now, they're all industry related. So .pizza, .attorney, .lawyer, .real estate. they're all industry related. So the way I kind of look at it, this is probably forward thinking, that it's important to kind of jump on some of those top level domains. I mean, it's all, the .com is what we're hardwired for, but moving forward, I just see that's how Google's going to be indexing websites in general. So yeah, I mean, pictures, like he said, you can go in there. A lot of times it's just like a self-generated code that's added on there. But when you do any sort of search, especially with some of the websites, I've dedicated a lot of time towards the SEO. When you search that term, the first thing that pops up on the web browser is those images, where you can select, website images, this. So a lot of times, like my logo pops up everywhere, and it's connected to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, like all of those social media platforms. So it's the pictures that people kind of recognize and find you. So yeah, no, it's a great.
Abe, are you doing a lot of pay-per-click advertising, or have you been able to generate any leads with some of those strategies?
So I actually spend $0 on any type of marketing, any keyword, SEO, all that stuff. All of my marketing is typically what I call organic or AI based. That's how I do lead generation, and I've gotten quite a lot of leads that way, and then just general networking, really. Finding people, talking to people. That's what I've really any money that I would typically save for marketing. I'm using it more on networking events and the organic, I guess, advertising through social media, through the photos that I'm uploading, all that stuff. That's how I've been able to generate most of my SEO.
Congratulations on that. That's killer. If you can, save your marketing dollars with, just doing it organically like that, that's huge. I know that's something that we share a lot with we work with a lot of brokerages and real estate agents. We talk to them about some of these marketing tools that we develop, and I've noticed a lot of real estate agents or investors get leads from their sphere of influence, as I call it. That would be family, friends, past clients. So kind of, following up with them around the holidays, or, sending them a Happy New Year's card or something, whether it's, like you were saying, dropping them a message on Facebook when it's their birthday or something, is a really good way to try to keep in front of people and then be top of mind. You don't always have to be showing, I'm Jeremy, I'm a real estate investor on social media. You can kind of be yourself, but then, share that you are an investor every once in a while. And then, obviously on birthdays or holidays is a good time to kind of pop that in. But that's awesome that you've been able to generate that many leads that way.
Yeah, we're definitely going into what we're calling influencers market. We're in an era where I think that's where all industries are going into. It's an influencers market. People with high level of influencing, high followers and all that stuff will be the people that will really empower any type of business. If you have a following and you know how to monetize it, that is the best way to grow or start any type of business. If you have friends that are influencers, is the same way. I believe that's what all industries are going to be heading to. That is the next generation type of marketing that I strongly believe in, a lot more than just the old keyword paying per pay-per-click and all that stuff. Influencers are definitely the future.
Yeah, it can get very expensive running pay-per-click ads, or even Google paid ads. At one point in time, I think that was a very effective way to generate leads, but it can be very competitive, so you can be paying quite a bit. And the way I also think too is, if I'm going to go look to sell my house and I'm going to opt in on a website, I'm probably going to go do it to a couple of them to get some few calls back. So it's not necessarily always such a qualified lead, but that is a good point that you brought up. I'll just reset the room really quick for anybody that's we're more than happy to have you up here if you want to share any lead generation or marketing strategies you've been doing with your business. We're all real estate professionals. Jason's a website specialist. He's very familiar with websites and some systems you can use to run marketing on there. But we were talking about things lead generation and marketing, and then also just to remind anybody who might not have been in on the convo, you can get a free digital business card by either clicking on any of our profiles and then going to Instagram, and then just click on our bio link, and then you'll see our smart business card will pop up on your mobile device, and you can just click on get your free digital business card. And then what it'll do is it'll just take you to the back end. You can drop in your own links, your picture. You can kind of from photos, some customization stuff that you can do. But that's just a free product we're giving away, and that's kind of coincides with what we're talking about, lead generation and marketing strategies. That's a good way to get your contact shared with people, and then get them to see some properties you might be.
Something I also want to add is the use of hashtags. A lot of people are not using hashtags online on their social media or whenever they're posting stuff. But hashtags right now is also another great way to generate leads. Like, for example, in Arizona, there's a hashtag that a lot of realtors use. It's just called AZ Real Estate. And that alone, I've had interior designers that I work with, they generate most of their business just using that hashtag whenever they're posting videos and all that stuff. Whenever they're uploading reels, that's another big thing. On Instagram, reels get you a lot of exposure. Each of your videos will get anywhere between 800 to 1,000 views. So if you're just putting content out there, there will be people that will be seeing it. And if you're adding the hashtags to it, it will even add more filter to your content. So the right people are seeing it as well.
That's a very good point, Dave. I've noticed LinkedIn, that's a space I know that, a lot of people have, but, frequent so much. Dave started incorporating, the hashtags. It's funny that you said that. I have actually been on Instagram just scrolling through, and I have bumped into, seen some real estate agent friends of mine in San Diego where they're posting fixer property or something like that, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that this person, had fixers. I'm gonna go look at the property right now. And, I'm already friends with them on Instagram. So you're absolutely right. I think hashtags is a very powerful way to, a very powerful tool to leverage. So that's welcome, Mr. Duplex. How you doing, man?
What's going on, brother? Everything's cool.
Yeah, we're just talking about lead generation and marketing strategies. I know we're all, in the real estate space, so we're just talking all things real estate and lead generation right now. And then we're just sharing. I know, we've talked a little bit. I sent you an email the other day, but we're talking about the bio link the free smart business card that we're getting.
Cool.
So, sorry, go ahead, Vishnu.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to bring up, I think I've brought it up in front of Jeremy before, but one of my favorite marketing campaigns now is actually proving to be really successful for a very interesting reason. So I'm still doing direct mail campaigns. Obviously, pre-foreclosure lists are kind of wonky right now because of the mortgage moratorium, but I've been pulling lists for tax delinquent properties, and the direct mail campaign that I'm doing right now is actually printed on paper that has seeds in it. And my direct mail campaign is a lot more compassionate, where it's just kind of like, hey, if you're in a rough spot right now, I don't need to try to sell you anything. I'm not trying to take your home away. I just want to have a conversation with you. If you don't want to call me back, that's okay. I hope that the future can still be fruitful for you. This card is implanted with seeds. Feel free to crumple it up, plant it, and watch something beautiful grow from whatever circumstance you're in. And granted, my actual copyright is a lot more poetic, but I have gotten an absurd amount of calls back from that campaign. And it's become my favorite now, because not only have I actually been able to generate qualified leads, but also creating just real connections with people who then, even if they don't need my help, end up finding somebody in the future who might actually need my help. I've had a lot more word of mouth kind of circulating because of that campaign. And it's a really interesting one. So looking at the medium that your campaign is on might be a good refresher if you're stuck right now. That's my input for now.
Yeah, Katie, I know you shared that. I forgot that you told me that once before. That's such an awesome campaign. So are the seeds just inside the mailer, or is the mailer? Where are you finding those envelopes? That's such.
So I also have my hands in a lot of random things like Amazon. So I actually found 4,000 note cards on Alibaba for an insanely cheap price. And it's just paper that actually has flower seeds or herb seeds in it. And I'll just kind of rotate through whether I'm doing flowers or herbs, depending on the campaign, and just see what works best. But yeah, if you're looking for that paper, Alibaba is fine, and it's cheap. So yeah, check it out.
That's awesome. I've talked to some people before where they'll put like $1 in an envelope, and then when somebody opens it up, it's like, wow, somebody just sent me $1. They're like, oh, I'll send you $5 more if you give me a call back or something like that, But so it sounds like you're getting a great response rate. Have you been able to convert any of those leads yet? It sounds like you've been getting such a good response, or are you starting to see some of those people's situations change at all?
I am seeing their situations change. I've had 8 actual closings, which has been really nice. But 2 of the people that actually had responded, my investor and I, we actually ended up letting them out of their contract because they ended up figuring out something at the last minute to be able to save their home. So kind of the mark of compassion that I'm bringing into my business, it's rippling through in some other ways. And I know, cardinal rule is don't let anybody out of the contract, but in these situations, it seemed like the best option to do for the integrity of my business.
Yeah, operating I agree with. Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was going to say it's much better to operate your business with a little empathy. I think in the long run that really pays off, not just financially. If you're able to help people out, or unfortunately, there is situations where people need out of the contract, and we don't hold their feet to the fire either. If they want out, they can get out of the contract. I just feel like there's no need to put people that are already in a bad situation in a worse situation because of that. So. I totally agree with you there, Katie.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to lie, it's really refreshing to hear somebody else say that, because I have gotten a lot of backlash from other real estate investors when I've told them that I've let people out of contracts. So thank you for also having a heart in this industry. This circle is getting good.
It's very interesting. I mean, most of us have to be, we're always out there trying to find the next deal. But I think, in the long run, honestly, I think it's being ethical. That is a way better move, because, oftentimes I've noticed if somebody is in a distressed situation and they can clear it and then get on the right track, that's great. It's what's best for them. And then oftentimes if they fall into that situation again, or the hardship is too much for them and they do have to end up selling, they likely will end up calling you back because they already are enrolled working with you and they appreciate what you did for them. So, just keeping that relationship and those ethics is great. And in addition to that, too, if somebody else that they know falls into that situation because they experienced had a good relationship with you and you were being ethical, then they'll probably pass your business card along. So I think that's the best.
Yeah, a lot of, I kind of go with the philosophy of, I can always make more money, right? So if I'm going to lose $5,000 because I'm not going to wholesale their house, it's not really a big deal. Like I can always just go make more money, right? If that person, that's their livelihood and that's the last thing that they own, and especially in a lot of these foreclosure situations where they're going to lose it all, everything they've ever put into it, I'm not going to, ruin their life or put them through hell for $5,000. That's not why we got into this business. We got into this business to help people and that's what we continue to do, regardless of if we're making money on it or not.
Yeah, and like they'll fall back into that situation, and they'll be a deal for you. But the other thing that you can do, and this is what we typically try to do, is if somebody says in pre-foreclosure and they're we might offer them the opportunity to do a loan modification. One, generally speaking, most people don't want to sell their home, right? And then if they do want to, if they can get their loan modified, we just pass that work on over to our real estate attorney who facilitates that. But if they do, or if they are successful in getting their loan modified, then we ask them for a testimonial, just a short testimonial from them about the experience working with us, and then oftentimes those people that we're helping are more than happy to write a testimonial, and then we can use that on other marketing, which has been really good. So that might be something you can do to go back to them and just say, hey, I know that you didn't end up selling the home to me, but would you mind writing me a testimonial so I can put it on my website, or another piece of marketing to just kind of share how you do have core values. So that might be some of that.
That is a great idea. Now I'm getting a little bit of that remorse from not doing that before, but I'm going to do that as I move forward, and thank you. I think I really needed to hear that.
Yeah, no, testimonial is always just if that's the least we can get out of it, that's always a good route to go. But does anybody else have any strategies or secrets that they want to share? We're just talking about lead generation and marketing up here. This is a open format here, so anybody's more than welcome to pop up on stage if you guys want to raise your hand or just introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about your business and what you're working on. We're more than happy to network with like-minded.
Hey guys, before the conversation keeps flowing, I just wanted to let you guys know I appreciate you. Every single one of you is amazing. Happy to be working in this business with you guys. I am going to watch some Doctor Who with my kids and actually be a present parent. So I hope you guys have a great day.
Awesome.
Thanks, Katie. You too. Enjoy your time.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of your day.
I think that envelope idea is awesome. It's cool. She mentioned that to me a while ago, but it sounds like she had sent a few mailers out and then is getting a good response. So that's cool. I might try that. But
yeah, I definitely like that idea.
Has anybody else been sending out direct mail at all, or is anybody doing some cold calling, or where are you guys finding your lists at? I know Abe was sharing that he's getting a lot of his organically, but has anybody else been finding luck with any other platforms?
Believe it or not, I was helping out this guy. His name's Jay. He's doing commercials. I was like, I'm kind of like, who watches TV? I mean, I know obviously people watch TV, but like cable television and stuff, it seems like everybody has Netflix or Plesk or something. But yeah, he's doing radio ads and commercial ads, and we've had his website probably published for about a month, but he just launched his commercials within the last 2 weeks, and he's already gotten a handful of leads. So I was curious if anybody's doing that, and if anybody sees those commercials, because I mean, I just use Netflix.
No, is he using this? Are these commercials on like YouTube, or is this something that he was doing to
No, this like I said, it's just on TV. I'm not sure exactly which network it's on, but I believe it's local because he's just doing deals here in Arizona where I'm located. And then he said radio ads. I've been helping him with his website, so I wish he had like a better way of tracking like how those leads are coming in from like a specific phone number or something. And even with his commercial, like the website's displayed right at the end of the commercial, which I recommended he change that, but he's getting deals. And I don't know if it's because, since it's on the radio and commercial, it's more, maybe it comes off more credible than just like a sign on the store or like a mail. But yeah, it seems to be generating work from him. I know he said he spent like quite a bit of money on that marketing, but it's interesting because I try to try to chat with him about it. Like, hey, I think it's a great way to go marketing, but he doesn't have any sort of social media. I mean, he's got a Facebook, but he doesn't have Instagram. Like, he's not very active, and I told him that's probably just as important, because even if they see the commercial, they're probably going to try to go find him and make sure it's legit. And as long as he has his brand across all those marketplaces or social media platforms, it's going to help draw more traffic. But yeah, that's just not his cup of tea. So it's like more of a sale for me to try to get him to understand that than it is to just kind of set it up. But yeah, I was wondering if anybody else is doing any sort of marketing that way for any really industry, really.
I knew we did some radio ads when I was working at TT Homes, but never did anything commercial wise. And like you were saying, I definitely know I see commercials pop up and some sponsored ads through Instagram and YouTube, but with Netflix and Hulu, you don't see that as much. So I wonder if he's getting traction. I mean, I've heard people take out ads in newspapers, and that's one of the things is as marketers, you're always having to try to test and measure new ways of marketing. You're having to identify the response rate and see what's working and more importantly what isn't, and so you can kind of adjust. But and things always change, right? That's why direct mail has been something that's great for us. There's a lot of people who don't really use computers as much as you would think. There's plenty of elderly people who don't even have computers when I've been on seller appointments. So direct mail is a really great way to target them. And then again, I think Jesse may have mentioned it. We typically, drop at least 6 or 7 mailers on one record. One person will get 6 or 7 mailers from us before they give us a call back. So there's so many different methods to work. I know Abe was in here earlier talking about how he uses just social media, organically, word of mouth, which is great. I mean, Clubhouse is definitely a new way of platform for everybody to leverage. I know we've connected with Vishnu on Clubhouse, and we're working with him. So this platform brought us together, which is probably a good time for us just to remind everybody that we do these rooms often. So if you guys want to join the Get Crazy Leads Club, you can just tap that green house. We also have the Asian Real Estate Club. We typically do a room every Wednesday at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time. This is the Get Crazy Leads room is just a space where we like to talk about lead generation and marketing strategies, and then connect with new people and find out what's working well and what's not. So if anybody wants to share about their business or some marketing strategies that they're taking, feel free to come on up and let us know what you got. That being said, if no one else has anything else to share, what I'd also recommend is just go ahead and follow the people that are next to you as well, because if anybody's in real estate, it's always a good place to connect. Do feel free to click on our Instagram, the bio link in our Instagram. You can grab yourself a free digital business card. You can also showcase your properties inside there. So that's just a totally free tool that we're just, we've had that developed for a little time now that we're just kind of rolling back out. So that's something that we're just offering to people as a useful tool that we hope can help everybody out. Sharing their contact info, and then of course showcasing properties that you might be trying to work with. But if nobody else has anything to share, you can always go to our Get Crazy Leads website and then look at what we were streaming on the screen. If we were talking about anything that you didn't get to see visually, our website has that recorded on there. And then make sure you follow anybody that you've got value out of or want to network with, so that way you can continue going into rooms and have good conversations with other people.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Be sure to stay in, follow our room. We're going to be hosting a room pretty much every day, doing some sort of lead gen or marketing or pretty much anything real estate related or business related. We're kind of dabbling in a bunch of different avenues. So um, be sure to stay tuned. Follow the club, and you'll be pinged for alerts when we schedule a new room.
Well, guys, hopefully everybody has a great rest of your day, and then we'll see you in the club later.
Later.
See you guys.